All right, I think we're all set up. Not quite sure if anybody's in the chat yet, but let's see here. Does look like I got 2 people watching. The resolution's all messed up on this screen. All right. So what we are working on is I have a lot of these SCX24s, and I'm going to do a new build out of my SCX24s. I'm going to borrow some parts out of this to get the new build going, along with some of the other parts. And then I've got some new parts that we're going to be incorporating into it to get this new build going. Let's see. So just bear with me while I'm getting things set up. Somewhere in here, I've got it's not in that. It's the body. Gladiator body. That's set aside there. Oh, okay. All right, so one of the things I need is going to be the electronics and rims off of this guy. And I have another project that's going to go towards this project. And what we're going to be doing here is doing the ultimate comp build. And now, although I don't really do too much comping, I've seen quite a few people build, their comp builds. And I want to build my version of it. And from there, we can do some testing out on our crawler course in the backyard, and also indoor crawler course. And in that process of doing all of that, we're also going to be starting a new crawler course build. So we'll be able to use this comp build as a test, along with a stock build that I have up there that's got slight modifications to it, but we're going to have different levels of experience. Now, what I really want out of this is that I don't have another ROP, or the Revenge of the Pancakes from Mofo RC. So I really wanted to use this in my new build. Now, this build here, I did a complete Mofo build, and I wanted to try out his ugly AF chassis. And we're going to kind of venture away from this chassis, and we're going to go towards this style of chassis right here, where it's more of the Furatech Scythe chassis rails. And then I need a pair of wire cutters. So more people start jumping into the stream and have questions. Hey, John Paul, how are you? How's my audio doing? I've been sitting here talking to myself, so I hopefully the audio is good on your end. So this bad boy. Sweet. So in case you missed it, John Paul, what I'm working on is I'm going to build kind of like the ultimate competition build for the SCX24. And why I'm kind of digging into this is I want the electronics out of my Mofo build that I did, because it's got the Revenge of the Pancake motor, brushless motor in it, and I need an ESC for it. And I had some additional parts that I actually have on order for this build to try something a little bit different with this Mofo build that I did. And I'm pulling this electronics out to reuse this electronics in my new build. So we're going to start building this new build here on the channel tonight. What's up, Thompson? Okay. So now that I got that, I should be able to drop this plate down now. So what my goal is for this new build is Tony from CCXRC did his comp build utilizing the C10 front links and drive shaft, and using a deadbolt rear linkage, which, see if I can show you the rear linkage here, and the rear drive shaft of a deadbolt. Now, this build here is actually built on a deadbolt platform. So this build here is built on what they call a C10 platform, or the Bronco platform, but basically it's talking about the wheelbase here. So what we're going to do is put kind of like the front end of the deadbolt, correction. We're going to put the front end of the C10, and then on the rear end, we're going to put the deadbolt rear end. So it's going to give us a different wheelbase. And I'm probably going to have to get another body. I do have another truck body over here I could use. But we'll also see if the creep body fits on it, and we'll go from there. Right now I'm dropping the skid plate and the motor and transmission out of this because like I said before, I wanted to use this Revenge of the Pancake from Mofo RC, and I only had one. I have a new motor coming in the mail for this guy. Once that comes in, then we'll be able to we'll go back to this build and get this build done up. What's up, Thompson? How's your day going? This video probably won't be for everyone. You know, dealing with a micro crawler here, so understand if not everybody wants to watch it, but I figured I'd at least get this video recorded, and might as well just do it live, and we'll see how far we get. I do have brand new links that I'm going to put on this. It's going to be more of a green and black build with the purple motor. Yeah. Hey, Thompson, were you over in listening to Nitro Freak earlier? I was in that one for a little while before I started this, but finally got done running my errands and decided to start this up. Oh, you got a phone call as soon as you came in? Of course. Yeah. I was really nervous when I first started working on these things because how small they are. But with as many of these custom builds that I have built on my channel and stuff like that, actually they're very easy to work on, and I've not really had too many issues with building them on. Well, of course, stripping out the screw heads, I've done that before, but I've actually replaced all of my hardware with these little stainless steel ones, and I have a whole kit which. I'm pulling these screws out. They're going over here. I won't even use them again. I'll break out my new kit when I start putting this bad boy together. That's what I needed out of that. And okay, we will set this guy aside for now. Clean all this stuff up. This guy's a little bit dusty. It's been sitting on the shelf for a while. Haven't ran it since I think February maybe is when I ran this. I was Thompson. I was there for a little bit. Oh, John Paul, you were there? Yeah, in that stream. Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I can say about all of that is that I understand people's concerns when it comes to the whole aspect of copyright and YouTube and stuff like that. But YouTube only has copyright of the information that's on YouTube, not the information that you use on other platforms. So if you were to actually utilize the video that is on YouTube, like so if we were to use the chat function on YouTube and try to put that up somewhere, I could see that being a problem, but not the not the video. If you recorded in it, StreamYard or stuff like that, recording it on your phone or your computer, and you upload that, they don't get that information. I think I need my other screwdriver. There's my 1.5. Yeah. I think it would be kind of cool. Be interested to know whether or not Nitro Freak is actually going to go through with it or not. I don't think I would be opposed to doing it. Be something interesting. I would definitely like to know what the buyback is on it. Yeah. My goal moving forward with the channel is to be doing a little bit more of these videos like this live and getting some content out there on these live builds, showing everybody in real time, working on these tiny ones, including some of my bigger ones, and some future build projects we're going to do, both crawler and basher related. We are going to use this skid plate in the build. This is the Mofo RC brass skid plate. So we're going to be utilizing that. This little Revenge of the Pancake motor, it has a lot of freaking torque. It's crazy. The transmission here, not quite sure I'm going to utilize this one. This is RC Hop-Up's transmission that I got here. I'm probably going to not utilize that and use probably Furatech's transmission. I have another complete brand new Furatech motor that I'm going to pull the transmission off of that. It's brand new in the box. We'll pull the motor off of it and we will mount this Revenge of the Pancake on that transmission. If you're doing this, you could probably use a stock transmission. If you really wanted to. I need my smaller. Okay, looks like some of it's up to, but it said it's like 1,500 and up to start a Roku channel. Oh, I guess it depends on. I know that what I was just on there and they were talking about there's different tier levels for getting you up and going on his channel, but in order for him to get the channel up and running, he's got to raise $5,000 on that Kickstart to do it. And then I just don't know exactly what the deal is with, what, say if we wanted to jump in and do this, what was it going to cost us to become part of it? And I guess we probably won't find that out until the actual Kickstart gets going. Let's see here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hey, what's up, CK Hobby Shop? How are you doing? Welcome in. I am working on a new build for my SCX24s. I'm working on a new comp build that's going to incorporate deadbolt links and drive shafts on the rear and I guess the Broncos C10 drive shafts on the front, or on the front. And we're kind of mimicking similar to what was on CCXRC's comp build. We're just going to be I'm doing a little bit different version of it. We're going to be using some different parts. Same chassis that he used. Where's my electrical tape? This is the blue. And I've been wanting to build one of these. I'm surprised you haven't built a monster truck yet. So I did have one. Shoot, I had started one that looked similar to like this guy. The only thing is I didn't have the gearing done right. It was still basically a crawler up on wheels, and I just never got around to really finishing it. Ended up taking it apart and building another Furatech build out of it. We might see one still coming in the future. All right, we're gonna have. So it looks like the stock screw on this RC hop up just got to get that out of the way. That's going into the rear drive shaft on this is all it's all stripped out. But I wasn't going to use this transmission anyways, or these pieces of the drive shaft. I've got brand new ones that I'm going to show you guys. I just needed to get this plate off, the motor mount plate. And I will worry about trying to take that bolt out on that piece later. I just needed this. Just needed this piece off of here. And so this is where the ROP, or the Revenge of the Pancake, mounts up to. This is the RC Hop-Up's aluminum transmission case, which I'm not going to utilize that or that gear. we have a brand new, this has not even ever been opened. You really don't have any, never really have any issues with the with any of my transmissions before. So if I ever burn up a motor, I ordered a second one of these, and it just happened to come with the transmission. I'm going to utilize this transmission in my build. I just got to figure out. I don't think I've never had any issues with these motors before. Oh, hey, welcome in, Alan. He better save that fifth scale gas build. Yeah. The your fifth scale electric one is still sitting down there. It's not being touched. As for your gas build, that will definitely be a future project. Is that actually, I think those are actually that's a 2 millimeter screw that holds that motor in. Let's see. Yep. Wow. They really outdid themselves with mounting this motor on an SCX24. I have a lot of them that have this, like even this build's got, you know, a Furatech in it. They're using 10th scale screws. All right, let's put you guys over there. Now let's get behind here. All right, we got 8 people in the chat now. Seems like we're doing pretty good. See if I can hold this. There it goes. So the flywheel that they're using on this, or the gear, is actually an all metal gear. See if we can get this bad boy off of here. Now let's see if we can get the transmission out of here now. I haven't looked to see if Nitro Freak's probably still going strong over there. You retracted your message, Thompson. Were you trying to type in the other chat? Oh. here. Yeah, and so the reason why I wanted to try to use this transmission is because it's actually an all-metal transmission, including the gearing that they put in it. Really good gearing. Being that I wanted to go big or go home, let's see if we can get that guy to come out of there. Where's my flathead? Let's see here. No, somehow the stream got minutes before. Oh, behind. Oh, okay. Got it. Understandable. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Normally these gears just push off, but this one's not wanting to come off very easily. It's almost like you need a little gear puller. But I think we got it. Now, where are the pliers here? Okay. So that. That's a plastic one. So how's everybody doing? Oh, we got 9 in the chat. Welcome in. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and share out the stream. Now I need my other pliers. And see if I can fix this. to use a different one on that. Okay. Now, get my spare parts bin out down here. So this one here is all stock SCX24 parts. And what I'm looking for is to see if I've got, I need some pieces out of a stock transmission, being that, so I can show you what I broke. But anyway, oh, camera's over here. So this top, if you can see the top, that black piece that sticks out right here, that's where your top gear is, and then your motor meshes up to that. This piece bent on that other one, so I need to get a new one of those. So I'm going to pull it out of this other transmission. Then we'll start putting together the new transmission. Alan, when am I going to build another RC course? Was planning on doing it this summer. It's just things got a little behind on schedule. So it is going to be coming here very soon. We'll start building it. Currently, right now, the room that I am going to build this is going to be my new the RC crawler course room, which is actually right on the other side of the wall from here. Is a large area. It's kind of like I guess it would be a family room that the wife is allowing me to build the crawler course along the wall in there, so everybody in the family can enjoy it. So we're going to be building a big one. It's probably going to be, I think we're looking at probably about 12 feet to 14 feet long along the wall. It's going to be a pretty good sized crawler course. And it's going to be partially the kind of like the foam and we'll say the fake look, if you want to call it that. And then we're going to be using some actual real dirt. And we'll have real dirt and real rock in there. All right, we got that in there. Yep, that gear is going to fit on there. So we can take all of this stuff. Don't need any of that. Let's save that bearing. That I got to put that plate back together. It's back in there. Motor on this plate. All of that box. All right. So now that we got that done, we can go through and clean up the new motor mount. this bad boy put on here. Now, let's get this old hardware moved out of the way. Then we're going to break out some new hardware. And that container is right here. So this is where all my SCX24 hardware is. And this thing's pretty cool because what it's got in it is it's got all these little tub things. And so I just have to pull out these tubs on the ones that I need. And we will start with those. So I believe it's, yep, they're M8s that I need. Now, on these, I really don't use, I don't use any Loctite when I'm putting these screws together. I take these things apart regularly and clean them up. And every time I take them apart, I'm putting it back together with new screws. So it's not really been a huge concern on Loctiting these things down. I do give it a little bit of a snug, but not enough to try to strip the head on it. Now, let's get this gear. Get that gear on there. And now we can put all right. And then that's the way it looks. So now we got that nice metal gear. It's all nice and smooth. And they're so butterly smooth that you don't even need to put any grease on in the transmission here. And then this is where their drive shafts connect up to. All right. Now, we'll get the motor mounted up. And then this is going to mount on the plate. It's going to mount on the plate just like this. I can get it to go in the groove properly. There. All right. And let's get these in. Now with the ones going through the plate, I usually make those ones a little bit shorter, and I'm using a M1.4 by 6, a little stubbier one. I do actually have smaller than that, but I tend to like just utilizing these 6 millimeter length ones. And then once again, I replace them every time I pull them out. I don't risk trying, stripping out the head. Plus, you're putting this through brass and into, aluminum. To me, it's just safer that way. Well, popped out. Let's see if we can get this. Oh, it's the wrong ones. Need this little smaller one too. Because there's 3 screws that hold the transmission to the plate. You got 2 underneath and 1 right here on the top. I like to get all 3 of them started before I actually tighten them all the way down. That way it lines everything up. It's popping out on me. Right. All right, got that in. We can get this guy tightened. So it's important that you seat that transmission right into it. You can see I had to fidget with it a little bit. And that's because, it's one man's engineering is a little bit different than the other. And they try to go off of the specs to, make sure everything lines up identical to how the stock companies ones. Oh my goodness. Jim, you're in here. Jim Riggs, what's going on, Stitch? I'm at work right now. Thought I'd stop by. Saw you were live. Yep. So, Jim, you'll appreciate this. I am building what I'm going to call the ultimate comp build for the SCX24. And then we're going to put it to the test. So It is going to be on a brushless system. We're going to be running the Mofo RC, Revenge of the Pancake motor. We're going to be running it off of a Lizard Ultimate ESC, the 40 amp one. I don't even think they make these ones anymore. They've been all, they've got some new lines coming out. We are going to be running the smaller Little Guy Racing. These are the Swamp King MTs. I believe these are 57 millimeters in diameter. So they're smaller than the original ones they have. You can see right there. They're a lot bigger. These are like, I think, 63 millimeters. So I'm going to be running on those. We're going to be running green Trill wheels with a brass weighted ring inside of it. And we're going to be running it on a carbon fiber Furatech chassis. We're going to be running deadbolt rear, and we're going to be running a front C10, both links and drive shafts. So what's up, Poker Rossi? Welcome into the channel. Thanks for stopping by, sir. And we're going to get it done, Riggs, and then I'm probably going to challenge you. Bring your best rig, and we're going to test them out. If anybody doesn't know that's in the chat, Riggs Family RC, they do have a channel. He is here in Arizona. I've bashed and crawled with this guy numerous times. Definitely check out his channel. He does all kinds of stuff. He's really big into more of the comp crawling on the 10th scales, but he does bashing. I think he even got one of those new Losi, the Losi, was it motorbikes? He's got one of those up on the channel. I don't even know what those things are called. My wife says I can't get one right now, so I don't have one. Madness Comic Network, thanks for stopping by. I was in the live with oh, hold on. Sounds like a cool build. Got to go back to work. No problem, Riggs. Jim, I will talk to you later. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. Yep, I was in Nitro's live for a while today and saw everything that was going on. That's pretty cool. I will definitely be checking out your Kickstart, and we'll see how things go from there. All right, we got that. All right, so we got that mounted. And then now we can work on getting the motor mounted here. So just like with these ones, I don't use any Loctite on putting this motor together and mounting the motor on here, because I want to be able to easily take it off and adjust it. And usually before every use, I go through these things anyways and make sure that everything is in tip-top shape before I run them again. So now my 10th scales, yeah, I Loctite those things, and I still replace all of my screws regularly on my 10th scales. Now I'm going to get all these screws lined up, and then we will worry about adjusting the mesh rate on it, which some people think is a pain in the butt on these little guys, but it's actually simpler than you think. It's actually harder to get these screws and get the thing mounted than it is to actually mesh this up. Because you want a little bit of play. It's not like the 10th scales where you want to run that, you know, the thickness of a dollar bill. In between there is a good judge on the 10th scales. Not necessarily what you want to do here on these. All right. So we got them all done. And as you guys can see, we can move it up and down. Now, what I normally do, because you can adjust this on the fly with this guy, because this back is open and you can just pop it open and you can loosen these up. What I do is I let the weight of the motor, and make sure that the cables aren't in the way, the weight of the motor, and then as you turn, because it is an outboard, you can see that it's meshing up and it's turning these guys down here, which I guess you can't really see too well on camera. But that's all I do, and I just hold that in place like that. And then I tighten the top one because there's 3 screws there. And then I give it a spin again and just make sure. You don't want too much pressure on it. Special stock SCX24s have a little bit more play because they use plastic gears like this. But because we're using the Furatech transmission, it's all metal gearing. So you want to make sure you got, you're not putting extra strain on that motor by tightening that down too much. And then I just snug the other 2 screws up. And then I just make sure that it's smooth, that I don't hear any, you know, it's not tough to turn it. You're not getting any grinding. All right, we got 13 people in the chat. Thanks for everybody stopping by. Don't forget to like and share out the stream. Oh yeah, Jim Riggs, that was the Losi Pro Moto. That's what he got. Yeah, he got one of those, and he's rocking it on his channel. Pretty cool. All right. So now that we got that, next thing we need to do is the chassis. And where is the chassis? Yeah, we'll just use this one here. Yeah, so the next thing we need to do is we needed the chassis and the axles. Now, the axles that we're going to be using for this one are CCXRC's Baby Hippo axles. And that's going to play a good part in adding weight down low, because I think there's like 64 grams of weight just in the 2 axles. And then I also like to you want to have weight down low when it comes to these guys. So we're going to pull this electronics out. We're going to put this electronics in the Revenge of the Pancake. We're going to pull these tires off, and then we're going to talk about what we actually have in this bad boy before we move forward. And then we're gonna do the links, which I have over here. So I picked these up at my local hobby shop. They're Trill. I think they're like $33 and some change a piece, but I have a set of deadbolts, which these are the deadbolt links, and here is the C10 or your Bronco links right here. And then yeah, the C10 or the Bronco links. And then I'm going to pull the fronts and the rears out of each of these. Drive shafts. I have Trill drive shafts, but I wanted to try something a little bit different. So AZ Turn and Burn, one of my local hobby shops, actually, they have their own line of SCX24 parts. And so they call them the AZTAB, stands for AZ Turn and Burn. So I have a set of their drive shafts, which you can see right here. And these are the center drive shafts that run forward and rear. So I have a set of the C10 and the deadbolt. I said that wrong. This is the C10. These are the deadbolts. And then I'm going to use the rear end from the deadbolt and the front end from the C10. And we're going to put those in here. We're going to see how these bad boys, I've never used their drive shafts before. So we're going to give that a shot. Shout out to AZ Turn and Burn for what's up, Nitro Freak? Thanks for stopping by. All right, so first things first, let's get these tires out of the way, because we're not going to use these rims. We're going to use where did I think actually these ones are different. Oh yeah, so they are the smaller. It's a 4 millimeter for some reason. Normally they're 5 millimeters. The ones that I took off the Mofo RC is a 5 millimeter screw. So I don't know if I like those, having those 4 millimeters, but. And the reason why these are a screw, and on most SCX24s, there's a nut, but because we extended the wheelbase by 5 millimeters and everything, you got to put this little bolt that's an extended screw. So it's got a bolt in and it's threaded and it goes through the center of the rim and holds it in. But normally they would go in and you just put a lock nut on the outside of it. Now these tires we're going to use, the rims we're not. We're going to swap them out with the rims on these Trill green ones, because we're going to kind of go with a kind of a green and purple colored scheme on this guy. When I went to pick up the drive shafts I needed for this and everything, I was actually trying to go, I wanted to go kind of like with a gray color scheme, but they didn't have the gray drive shafts. They had blue and they had green, but I have a lot of blue in all of my RCs, and I only had pretty much one RC up here that was rocking green, and that was my Mofo one. And I was like, I think I'm going to go more with a green color scheme for this bad boy. Okay, we got that. Move these pens out of here. These guys are the ones that you lose the most, and they're a little pin that goes in the axle. And you put your it holds the extension, 5mm extensions, and it goes into the little end there, and it kind of locks it in. Kind of the same way your hexes go for your regular RCs. King's RC, thanks for popping in. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you stopping by. I know poker is going live here in, what, is it an hour, poker? Is that when your live starts? Believe he goes live here in an hour. Whenever he goes live, I'll go ahead and cut my live, and we'll hopefully everybody can just move on over. Jeremy T, I didn't even see you sneak in. Welcome in, brother. Thank you. 51 minutes. Yep. So I got 51 minutes left on this thing, and then I will go offline, and everybody can jump onto pokers, and we'll have fun over there. I just needed to squeeze in some time on here, and I wanted to get some data in on this SCX24. I am going to do kind of a video build on it. Also, I think Brooklyn Chick might be live. I don't know if she's live right now. We could look real quick. Let's see who's all live. Oh, you look, yep, she's live right now. All right, cool. No worries. I appreciate everybody at least coming in and giving me some watch time. That's awesome. I'm just going to be here working on this SCX24. Oh, I know, Nitro. You'll rock as many streams as you can. You got 2 laptops. I appreciate you, brother. All right, so now let's see if we can get this out of here. Might be able to just leave that in there and drop this out. This already has a ESC, and it has my receiver already in it. I might just put that ESC back in my Mofo build when I get that one put back together with the new motor, which I'm not telling you guys what the new motor is yet. That's going to be a surprise. But it will be a Mofo build, so you can imagine what. There's only so much Mofo stuff you can get. Orlando Magic, welcome into the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Just sub, thank you for that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up on your way in. I'm doing pretty good, Orlando. I'm working on a new custom SCX24 build. And we are this is going to be a comp build, and comp as in for competition in the SCX24s. We do actually have an SCX24 competition here in Arizona at AZ Turn and Burn. They have a small course in the center, and it's kind of like my crawler course that I built that everybody has probably watched. And it's It's definitely a little bigger than what I have, but they run, I think, 3 different classes on it. I'm not quite sure. I haven't participated in it yet, but once I get this comp build done, I might even take it down there and do some video down there of me running it. We'll see how things go. Where is my little piece of electrical tape? There you go. See, that screw head was actually stripped out. I just put a piece of electrical tape over the top of my my 050 wrench for my SCX24s, and that popped right out. I'm going to set that over there so that doesn't get reused. I actually tried that on the little drive shaft that was stuck on that other one just to see if it would work, but it's just not working too well today on that one, so I will try that a different way later. Okay. So there we go. We got that bad boy out. We don't need that one anymore. That can go into a different project. We are going to be rocking CCXRC's Mighty Chihuahua in this build. It is a Reefs RC 99 micro. So you could get the Mighty Chihuahua, or you can actually buy Reefs RC's one. It's the same thing. He just has his custom logo on it that he does, and he actually sends it to Reefs, and Reefs gets it screen printed on there for him. That's his custom build. We're going to try this with both having the springs on the shocks and also without the springs. Not quite sure if I still have those green springs anymore. I think I put those on my son's build. But I have this set of black ones that are on this that I'm going to use for now anyways. So we just got to pull the rear end off and the front end off, and then we can start putting it together. Matter of fact, we'll start with, we're going to remove these shocks. So the hardware that actually they use on this, and where I get from my hardware that I fill these up with, is actually the same thing for eyeglasses. When you're, it's a 1.4 millimeter screw, and I'll buy a couple of those repair kits primarily to get this screw right here, this bolt, not the screw, but the bolt. And I've got a crap load of them now. So I bet if you were to run across my carpet here and then where my studio used to be, you're probably still pulling some of those little screws out, because you get to put them on, they go fing, and they fly all over the place. the look my wife gives me when she's like, babe, found another screw or found another. Yeah. I get the look of death sometimes. She'll hear it get sucked up in the vacuum. And you can't run a magnet for these ones because they're just aluminum. All right, we got one chassis rail off. I remember when I was building all of these, I built a bunch of custom ones on the channel, if you guys have seen. It took me more time editing the videos than it did to actually build these things. I can build them pretty quick and work on them pretty quick. Surprisingly, I enjoy working on them. I never thought that I would on these such small ones, because technically I should be wearing glasses right now working on these things, but I don't. I have glasses to wear, but I don't. I'll wing it. Haven't had an issue yet, except for if I drop a screw on the ground. Okay. Let's unplug that. Set that aside. Now we got these. So now what I need to get done is remove the drive shafts, and I need to remove the links, because we're going to go with different links. And when I do the video on it, I will put up a breakdown of all of the parts and links to where you can find these parts if you want to build one. I invested in a lot of this stuff back in the day. Probably actually about a year ago, I invested a lot in them. And to tell you the truth, I got deals on a lot of them when I was buying them in bulk. Like when I bought a bunch of stuff from Furatech, I had a coupon code to use at the time for getting, I think it was 20% off or 10% off at Furatech. And so when it came down to it, the price and the price breakdown for building this, you're looking at probably $600 to build one of these things. But it probably only ran me about $450 when I built it, based on the cost of all the parts. But that's kind of why, I have 13 of them, and I turn around and change things up like this and build something new. Let's see here. All right. So there are some things that I do a little bit differently. Some people don't like using the 4-link in the front. They like using the single. It's a Y-link that they use. I like the individual one. You get a little bit more articulation, I feel, out of that Y-link, or out of the split link versus the Y-link. Well, King's RC, I had that same problem. So, King's RC said there's a big difference. Yes, there is. Working on the 8th scale armas, I can do that with my eyes closed. I've ripped them apart. I've torn them apart, put them back together. I can do that easily. The 10th scale armas, they're a little bit more of a pain in the butt, because you can't just take 4 bolts off and pull the rear differential out like you can in one of the 8-scale armas. In order to get that differential, you got like 5 different screws, and then you got to pull this off and the plastic all the way around just to get to the differential, and then you got to rip apart the outside housing to get into that to actually work on the differential itself. So not only are you pulling the whole outside housing or your bulkhead apart to get down into that. I understand what you're saying there. Component wise on this, it is smaller scale. And you're using smaller tools, and it's a whole nother tool that you need. And really it's only one tool. It's an 050 inch to really work on this thing. I mean, yes, you're going to need a 1.5 every once in a while. And as I found out with the FureTech Komodo motor, is these 2 big screws on the back are actually 2mm screws. So I had to break out my 2.0 just to work on that. Lifesavers are tweezers. Now you look at some people like CCXRC and some of the other guys that do a lot of work on these little SCX24s. They talk about magnetic. Getting a magnetic screwdriver works amazing, right? That's if you're using a bolt that's magnetic or a screw that's magnetic, right? These, you can see they're not magnetic. They'll stick every once in a while, but I just move very carefully and hold it in. It's not magnetic, and I do it. But that's where little tweezers come in handy. And when you're working with these little small bolts, I get a little pair of flat nose pliers, and I'll pick it up off the ground or off of the workbench, and it's flat on this side. Then I slide it in and get it hooked in. Small stuff sucks. Like I got a whole set of 1/32 scale Losies in my garage. I believe they still are. And, you know, one of these days I'll break them out and show them to you guys. They're little Losi, and they're electric. They're like 1/32 scale. And for the life of me, that's too small. I tried working on those. When my son comes back from Poland, he enjoys the hell out of messing with those things. And that's going to be his project to get them up and running. I had some, and then ended up selling them on Facebook Marketplace. Got rid of them, and I was like, I'm done with these things. And then my brother comes into town for Christmas and said, hey, I found these on Facebook, and they look just like your little 24 scale ones. And he brought this box in and showed it to me, and I looked at him, and then I looked at my son, and he was like, Dad, you just got rid of these. They weren't the same ones. They were the ones that I sold. I actually sold to a guy that's collecting them, and I think he's in Michigan somewhere. And he's buying a whole bunch of them, and has a bunch of kids that he builds them up for so they can race around their I think it's their boys club that he does it in. So I'll probably end up, if my son doesn't take him to Alaska when he comes back from his deployment with him, I will probably end up getting a hold of that guy and asking if he needs one more. I need a +2 reading glasses as well. Yeah. You know, sometimes I'll actually take a picture with my phone to zoom in to see what the hole looks like or what the area looks like. I've done that before too. I thought about actually rigging up a camera that could zoom in so I could zoom in and look at it on my screen just to see what I was working instead of, you know, kind of like a microscope, but you're doing it with a camera. Thought about doing that. I don't know. I guess if I ever do that, I'll probably have to do it on YouTube so everybody can point and laugh at me. Yeah. And as for the fat fingers, I got big fingers too. When it comes down to it, tweezers. Tweezers. Time are we setting at? We still got about I'm going to probably shut this down in probably about 25 minutes. I'll shut it down right before 4 o'clock here, which is 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And that's when everybody's going to be jumping into Poker Rossi's stream. All right, enough chit-chatting, and let's get these removed here. I'm sure the talk of everything right now is going to be what Madness Comic Book Network has been promoting over on Nitro's channel. It's going to be the talk. It's going to be the talk for a while, at least for the next 16 days until we see what this kickstart's going to look like. And then from there, we'll see. We'll see if Nitro jumps on that train. And I don't know. I might think about it. We'll see. I know that next Friday, I guess it's 6 p.m. Eastern time, Nitro is going to be doing another stream where they're going to have both of those gentlemen up there. Both, I guess his name's Max and Pop. They're both going to be up on that channel, and they're going to be talking about this a little bit more. So that'll be interesting to see. So brass-wise for this build is not only the 64 ounces of brass that we have in the Baby Hippos, which is what CCXRC calls his axle housings, his brass axle housings. I'm also running Endura brass knuckles on the front. And that's what these guys are right here, the knuckles on the front. They're by Endura, and they are brass. I am running, this looks like a hot racing one on this guy. But so the steering linkage up here in the front is actually a hot racing one. I will probably be changing that out to a brass one eventually, but we're just going to keep rocking this one on here because it's already installed on that. Looks like my front diff housing cover here, the gear cover on the front is brass, but it is the Endura one. The rear is a CCXRC one. So we will probably be playing with those weight differences on some of the other ones. I normally rock both brass CCXRC ones, which I have some down there. I might swap it out. I do need to dig into the gearing on it to see what inside of that housing is, what is a worm gear, and then you have this gear, and it kind of sets kind of like this in there, and then your drive shafts go through there. And this is where, you know, going out to your wheels, and then from this side right here is where your drive shaft connects up to the inside. Now, when you're doing this, that one I removed because that one actually I had bought from CCXRC as a 23% overdrive gear, but it actually isn't. It's underdriven, and I'm not really too concerned on getting my money back out of it. I bought that, I think, a year ago when I started doing these with the SCX24s, and that was in my kit. I'm not going to argue with it. One bad gear out of the 8 that I got is not really a concern. I have other gears. I believe that the gears inside of this are both stock style gears, but the gears, I believe the front gear, I believe it's the front gear in this one, is a stock SCX24. And then I got some NXT, I believe they are, gears. And I think I have more down here. Like I said, I got parts for days. Like those are brand new brass knuckles. I have 2 more sets of those still. I can build another ring out of them. It does not look like I have any more of the gears. I do have another set of CCXRC's overdrive gears right here. So I may be putting that into the front to get that front spinning a little bit faster. After we get this thing built and up and running. The goal is we want to see how good of a performance we can get out of an SCX24 on my backyard crawler course. I have a couple of lines out there that technically you probably should use a winch on. I want to see if I can get away from having to use a winch in its entirety on my crawler course. If I can do that, then that means I've got to make my course a little bit harder and make some lines that you might need to use a winch on. I've also heard that there are, and I'm not sure who's making them yet, but they actually made an actual working winch for the SCX24 with a, done out of a little servo, but then that's a lot of extra weight you got to add into these bad boys, and adding that extra weight, down low. Most of the time when you're winching in a competition out here, you're using what they call kind of a, it's more of a bungee, which I have one around here somewhere. I believe it's in my kit down here. I believe I have one. Don't remember. Yeah, here's one right here. So you got this style, and basically you can attach this to your finger, and you can hook this on to your, to any point on your RC, and you can throw it around like I just did. But basically, give yourself some tension as you're going through a gate, or vice versa, hooking it up to the bumper. This one doesn't have a bumper, so if I hooked up maybe to the axle down here as you're coming up a hill and kind of give it a little bit of attention to hold it in place. Nitro, you're thinking about getting a crawler? What kind of crawler are you thinking about getting? I don't see you working on one of these little small ones, though. These, my favorite crawler out of all of them, besides being jealous of my son's Vanquish that he has, is my Axial Base Camp, which is that blue one right there. I love that thing. That thing has surprised the hell out of me. To the fact that I built my wife's to be just like mine, so we were able to compete against each other. But Vanquished RC makes some great RCs, and they're fun kits to build. Now, I haven't owned a TRX4. A buddy of mine, Derek from Derek's AZRC, has done a lot with the TRX4. I do have a TRX4M, which is the mini that's up here. It's dirty because my son likes to play with it, and it's not been cleaned, which he has a blast with it. But some of the issues with the TRX4 that I've seen is having to add a lot of weight, because the weight distribution on it, you need to get some more weight down low. Not necessarily as much weight as Derek's put on his do you really need, but you do need to put some weight on it. I have on my SCX10 3 base camp, the only weight that I put on it is my differential cover on the front. I weighted that and put a brass weight there, and then I put weighted knuckles on the front, and that's it. And it's been performing really good. Now I do have a winch on it. I have the Reefs. I think it's the 800. So Reefs 800 servo. You know, to tell you the truth, I don't remember what servo but it is a winch servo. It's got it's built in into the actual case of it is where the spindle is that goes out, and it connects right up, and I can control it from my controller to winch in and out. Works, in my opinion, works really good. The wife and I really haven't done too much testing with doing actually any winching with it yet, but it's definitely something in the future that's going to happen. We're going to do find some spots that we actually need to use the winch on, and we'll get to winching. I built those 2 crawlers for my wife and my son at Christmas this year. Got everything all built up, and then I want to say it was January time frame that I put all the upgrades on them. And we went camping up north of us with some friends, and that was really the only time we actually got to play with the crawlers with them. And it wasn't really a lot. We didn't really get a lot of time with it, but needless to say, I need to get some more time out there crawling with them. If I can get some more test video on it. I know I'm due for my 1-year review of after owning the base camp. I did a 6-month review, and I've already had somebody message me on my base camp if I was going to do a 1 year from owning it and my thoughts on it. I am going to do a 1-year review. It's just going to be a little bit longer than a year, because I'd like to actually get out and do a test of all of the upgrades that I put on it, get a nice good crawl with me and the wife and my son, and get that out there, and then give them a true review on it, because I haven't really done very, very much crawling this year. So once I get that done, then we'll get it, we'll do it. Madness Comic Network, crawlers are fun until you run out of things to climb. Well, surprisingly, we have several areas here in Arizona to actually take the crawlers on. We got a place up in Surprise. Actually, it's more Peoria, but it's still considered Surprise. That somebody found, and it's been a really good area for us to take them climbing. We have an area out in the East Valley that Riggs goes to all the time, from Riggs Family RC. And I cannot remember. I want to say it's Eagle Mountain that he goes to. And then we also have what they call Mini Moab, which is on the outskirts of Phoenix. It's edge of Maricopa, and it is a huge area too. And I haven't been out there to actually crawl at that area myself. But what me and my wife actually like doing is actually more trailing than crawling. We'll do a little bit of crawling out on the BLM land here, but we actually like to hit the washes and riverbeds out here and just get some good trailing video. I've got some video up of me and the wife and the kids trailing up on the channel if you guys want to check it out. And I think that's where we've had the most fun. We take the dogs out with us, and they run around and make sure wherever our crawlers are going that it's safe for our crawlers to go in there in the riverbed, because we'll go underneath bushes and tree areas, and I'll mount a camera on it. We actually did one where I mounted my brother-in-law's drone on top of my wife's crawler, and it was actually not the base camp. She, at the time, she had a Gen 8, and we mounted it right on top of it to where the little gyro camera was just right out in front, and she followed right behind me as we were crawling through underneath these tree areas. It was pretty cool. It was kind of funny because you could see that the vehicle was moving like this, but because it has the gyro on it, it was staying perfectly level as we were going through. It's definitely interesting. With some cool footage. Aaron P., welcome into the channel. What's up? How are you doing? All right, we got that. Got all that torn apart. We got our rails. We got our motor. Drive shafts are over here. This is all for a future project. We got our motor and ESC. I don't need these wires. All right, well, I guess the next thing I need to work on is just starting to put this bad boy together, and then I can start working on swapping out the tires. Now, I do like to run, people call them anti-foams, but they're actual, they look like this, but this is something that project that Alan is working on for me on designing our own anti-foams to go inside of them. But I use the Flub RCs in my bigger Swamp Kings. Now, since they came out with the more comp size Swamp Kings, I don't have the inserts for them. So right now I'm running stock foams in here. I'm working on getting my own inserts designed up through Alan, and we're going to 3D print them and try them out. So that'll be coming soon too. And if we can get that figured out, that'll be awesome for these ones, and then also for my bigger Swamp Kings. But if anybody's looking for good inserts on them, I really do like these ones from Flub RC. They're called slime balls, and they work really good. I just want to see if I can get a little bit more play out of them to be like more like you aired down your tires and you're getting ready to climb and do some crawling. All right. Okay, so deadbolt, we want the deadbolt rear end links. So let's go ahead and get those out. Now, I was kind of lazy on doing this. Normally, I would probably not get the Trio ones. I would go more, I guess, cost effective and go with the Enduro ones. But with the Enduro ones, you got to build them yourself. With these Trio ones, they come already built. And what I mean building them, I'll show you. So if you see here, they've already got the inserts in them and the O-rings are already installed. When you get them, and I think I have, yeah. So these are some C10 green ones right here. And you can see that there's nothing in the ends for the links. And then everything's in this little bag back here. Let's see if I get it. Yeah, back here. And you got to put them in and put the O-rings on yourself. All right, so this was the deadbolt ends, and this is the C10. So I need the fronts from those, and I need the rears from these. So these pretty self-explanatory. They are a high clearance link. So the bent ones are your lower links. The straight ones are your upper links. I don't really use the hardware out of it. It's the black hardware. So the bent end you want on the axle side. And I like to put the writing to the outside. So you've got two attach points here. You got this up here, that's your upper links, and then your lower links are down here. And that's where we need to attach these guys. Get this in. See, we still got 10 people in the chat. Been going along for a little over an hour and a half. We got probably, 10 minutes left? 5 minutes, because I'm going to stop 5 minutes prior to Poker Rossi's stream. So got about 5 minutes left in the stream. Anybody got any questions on what I've been doing? Like anybody's got any questions? Get these. I can get it to in the groove. There it is. As you can see, King, it's just getting them lined up. I can, with my fat fingers, get a little bit of this started, but then I use my screwdriver, get into the end of the screw, push it into place just like that, and screw away. Now, this upper plate up here is actually called your truss or your upper rear link mount, but depends on where who you're buying it from, on what they call it, but it is, it is a truss. And they just kind of mount the same way. Now, because I'm using what they call a 4-link, the rear ends normally were a 4-link rear end. The only difference is Trill made it individual to where it's an individual groove for you to put them in. The older style, which maybe on another stream I'll show you guys the difference, you would stick them both in there and run one screw through it, or you would put them in on the outside. It was just this centerpiece and you just screw them to the outside. This actually gets you a little bit more strength and it holds everything in place. And then I will probably be into Poker's live for a little bit. It is getting close to dinner time. Here it's almost 4 p.m. in Arizona. People always ask me, well, what time zone are you in? I says, I don't know. I'm in Arizona time because we don't rotate our clocks. We don't shift our clocks around. We maintain the same time. So when everybody falls forward, we're still standing right here. When everybody falls backwards, we're still standing right here. So sometimes we're on the same time zone as California, and sometimes we're on the same time zone as Nevada. So it all depends. It's like we're still going strong with 10 people in the chat. That's good. Appreciate everybody coming in and everybody hitting that thumbs up button. That's awesome. We got 20 thumbs up. I think that's the most I had on one of my live streams. I appreciate everybody for chipping in on that. Oh, it's already Friday? Yeah. I think you're pretty close to the same time zone as where my son is stationed. And it's currently, yeah, it's 0:55 a.m. where he's at right now in Poland. So, yeah. All right. So now on the front side, we want to do the C10 front links. Oh, wait, I put those over here. I got more stickers and I know what to do with. So the front links on this they're shorter and pretty close to the same links, same size as the rears, but we want to use these front ones here. And of course, same way, the ones that are bent are the ones that you're going to put on your lowers, the ones that are straight. And this is where the Y-link used to be. And I might actually have a Y-link to show you guys. Not quite sure. Oh, those are stock links, but not the Y-links. My Y-links might be in my other bags. But anyways, it looks like a wishbone. So, you know how the wishbones look in. So basically, it looks like this, where it's kind of connected like that. Now, you don't get that flexiness because this is solid right here. So you only get a little bit of movement. With having two individual ones, you can get a little bit more flex. That's my opinion, though. So I see that I get a little bit more flexing out of using the 4 links on the front. Right. Well, now, the servo mount that I'm using for this is it is the brass. Yep, this one's the brass one. So it is the brass Trial servo mount. The actual servo mount I want is what they call the best servo mount ever. I just haven't bought one yet, and they're from Mofo RC. And I've heard a lot of good things. It's like the only servo mount you'll ever need. Eventually, I'm going to get one. And then I'll be able to show you guys why that one's better. It kind of looks the same as the Trial servo mount, but it's adjustable, and you can, there's some assembly required, but I believe that some of these servo mounts are actually knockoffs of the ones from let's see if I can find it to show you guys. Bearings. I have a brand new one here. This is not the brass one. This is an aluminum one. But this is how the servo mount looks. It does look similar to the one that I've seen from Mofo RC. I believe Mofo RC's is better. It's better constructed, and you get a little bit more playroom, especially with securing these servos. Currently, right now, you can see my servo's floating there, so it's only held on by 2 screws. So that could be a potential problem when you got the possibility you can actually mount 4 screws there. But we'll see once I get one of those servo mounts and we get it installed, and we'll go from there. Let's see if we get this in. I'm going to get I'm going to get these links installed, and then we'll start wrapping things up for today of the stream. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Don't forget to go check out Pocarassi's stream. I'm sure his stream is either getting ready to start, or I don't know, I may have been talking through it and his already haven't really looked. I'm seeing that people are popping out of here, so I'm assuming Pocarassi's stream is going. Let's go ahead and look. Oh, he delayed it? Hey, Jim's Hotties in the house. Thanks for stopping by. I think CK was in here earlier. I don't know if he's still in here chit-chatting, but you can always, jab him a little bit. But welcome into the stream. Hey, Kings, he delayed it. How long did he delay it for? Oh, we delayed it 10 minutes? Okay. All right. Well, I know that Brooklyn Chick's stream is still going. I'm going to have to put that on watch, so I give her some watch time for that. Yellow Shirt Dad's live too. Did not know that. Did you know that, Nitro? Yellow Shirt Dad's live right now too. Let's see here. Let's check out. So actually, Jim's hobby, what I'm doing is I'm trying to make a new comp build for myself. It's inspired from CCXRC's. I do have a lot of his components that I've bought, like his baby hippos and some of his diff covers, his overdrive gears. I do have that. I even have his Mighty Chihuahua servo, which on his comp build, he's not running the Mighty Chihuahua. He's running Mofo RC's brass servo. But what I'm doing is he's using on his favorite comp build, he's using the C10 front links and he's using the rear links from the deadbolt. So I've never done this before with doing these links, but I got that. And then I've got the drive shafts for both a C10 and a deadbolt that I'm going to get it all figured out and try to put it together. And I want to see how it works. See if it's actually a comp rig that I'd like to know. Yes, I know he just built the cheat code from Maz Designs that he's liking. And a lot of that has to do with the frame. So I got a Furatech Scythe chassis rails right here that I'm going to use for now. I haven't gotten the cheat code yet. It might be something I might purchase down the road here, but we'll give it a shot. Tires I'm going to run. The rims, I'm going to be running the Trill, these green ones that has a brass inner ring. So I'm going to be running that, but these tires that are currently on it are the Swamp Kings from Little Guy Racing. Now, these are the standard ones that they produce. They're huge. But they came out with a smaller version for more a scale look. And you can see the size difference here. I guess if I hold it the right way, you can see the size difference. They're a little bit smaller. So I'm actually going to be rocking these tires on these green rims when it's all said and done. And if I like how this turns out, I probably will build a second one for the wife, and then I'll end up with some spare parts. I don't really need to have as many of these SCX24s as I do. I have, I think, 13 24th scales up there. Did you do a video on your cheat code, Jims? If so, I will have to go back and look at that. I'd like to see what it's like. Let's see here where we're setting at on Poker Aussies. All right, so we got about 2.5 minutes, it looks like, for Poker Aussies live to start going. I'm going to go ahead and shut my live down, and I will probably jump into Poker Aussies, and then I'll probably leave it running while I go eat some dinner. I appreciate everybody for stopping by and seeing me. This is probably my best turnout for a live that I've had. I think I was up to 17 people in the chat at one point. That's pretty good. I'm happy with just the 3 people that actually come in here and gives me somebody to talk to. I still got 8 of you guys in here. I appreciate it. Gems. My son's the carnival comp with my high-speed brush that Tony put on at Axial. Oh, okay. Your son won the carnival comp with it. Yeah. All right. Hey, no worries. I know I got some more of your videos to watch. I'm going to be, I'm trying to squeeze in as much as I can. I'll probably be checking out some of your new videos and as they come out, and I'll be definitely going back and watching some of the older ones. But all right, thanks for everybody for stopping by. Don't forget, Poker Rossi is going to be live here in about a minute and 9 seconds. So don't forget to jump in on there. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks, Kings RC. Thank you, Thompson's RC, Gems RC, Aaron P, Nitro Freak, Poker Rossi, Jeremy T was in here. Orlando Magic came by for a little bit. Madness Comic Network was in here. See what Alan was in here. Who else we got? Let me roll back up here. Riggs Family RC stopped by for a little bit. Don't forget to check out his channel. CK Hobbies, John Paul stopped by to say hi. Everybody. And there's, was definitely more that just kind of watched in the background. Thank you guys. Don't forget to check out for more videos. I'll probably be doing another live next week. I probably won't be doing another one this week, but thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. I'm Stitch, SK Hobbies AZ, and I'm out.